Morning, everyone. Today we've got an interesting feast. It is the feast of our Lord Jesus Christ, Eternal High Priest. And it's a movable feast, and by that we mean that it's not actually fixed to a date in the calendar, but it is fixed to a day in the calendar. It's always the Thursday after Pentecost. And so regardless of what the date is, we're always going to see it in that particular case. The title is rather interesting, Eternal High Priest. And how does that, if a high priest is there, there must be other people who are not high priests. When a priest performs any religious function, he performs in persona Christi. In other words, in the person of Christ. So he's not performing, so a priest says mass or he preaches or whatever, he's not preaching from his own conviction. He's doing, it would be as if Christ himself is doing the consecration, as Christ himself is presenting his body. So if we see that in that context, it's probably it really does make attendance at Mass just so significant, because the priest is there in the presence of Christ and in the person of Christ. And that is one of the reasons that a deacon cannot say Mass, because a deacon is not ordained for that purpose, and some of the other functions. But a priest is there in the person of Christ. And if we look at that in terms of where does the sacrifice thing come in, obviously we talk about the sacrifice on the altar, the sacrifice of the body and blood of Christ. And immediately above our altar or very close to it, we have the crucifix, which is where Christ himself was sacrificed. And so in giving his complete body and blood, literally, he allows us to receive his body and blood during the Mass. So the priest is in persona Christi, and Jesus is there in person himself. And that's a really exciting opportunity, and something I think that we always need to appreciate. So you keep yourself safe, and we'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.